Hello, friends. Your old Uncle Andy here, the UC Panda himself, coming to you on Thursday, September 25th, with what we hope are some winning sports picks. Um, we did post a play earlier today. We gave you a sneak preview of the Juice Reducer parlay, and we're going to put Eastern Carolina money line on that bet, and we'll go over the odds for it here in a moment. We actually had these slides prepared last night. We just didn't get around to making the video, but we did go ahead and post East Carolina, and I'm feeling pretty good about it. They're at home against Army, and I think as we go along here, and I think as you'll see really in the next couple years, this NIL stuff and the transfer portal is not going to be kind to the service academies simply because they are just not going to have enough money to pay these players. Probably maybe not even on the level of a max school. So, so it's unfortunate, but that's just sort of the way it is in this college football landscape. Last weekend we did okay. We turned a profit of 4.39 units. Kind of got messed up a little bit in NFL. Thanks, Packers. Falcons, thank you. A couple things didn't really go our way, but we are starting today with up being up 26 and a half units. I've had a couple baseball plays and whatnot through the week. College football last weekend, pretty good, 13 and 7. Stand 43 and 17 in college. College is killer, up 21 units. NFL we're 30 and 20, up about 20 units. So doing pretty well. Football as a whole hitting at 73 and 37. That's about a 66% clip. Still pretty good. Like I said, keep on following us over at Uncle Andy Sports, both on Twitter and Facebook. You'll see here in a few minutes, I gave out early in the week on my social media Seattle Seahawks money line. And at that time, it was plus money. And so now here we are within an hour of kickoff, and the Seahawks money line is down to like minus 130. So certainly we got the better end of the number if you were following us early in the week, and you got a better bet in your pocket. Keep on following us over at Free Plays Daily. I think I'm on a 2 or 3 night winning streak now over there on the play of the day. So, you know, I don't necessarily bet all those or give them out, but if you want to know what I think for the day, that's where to find me. Like I said, Thursday night, got the Seahawks plus money. I like them. Ryder Cup. I used to bet a lot more golf than I do these days, but still will dabble in it. And Ryder Cup is a big event. We're going to go ahead and go with Scotty Scheffler to be the top scorer at almost 3.5 to 1 odds. Scheffler, no doubt, hands down, best player in the world. Would only stand to reason that he would shine here in the Ryder Cup. Call me Benedict Arnold, call me a traitor. I did go with Team Europe to win the Ryder Cup, mostly because of that plus money payout of plus 170. Many good European golfers here playing. I know in Ryder Cup, the home team, statistically, they have an edge. A lot of good players over there in that European squad. And also the US to win. You were laying quite a bit of chalk there. It was got like 141, minus 140, minus 150. That's too much to lay in my mind. So I'll take Europe at those odds. Now, I did include a lot of the big college football games, of course, that are going to go on this weekend. It's a great slate on Saturday. I mean, you could be glued to the couch from noon to midnight, and it would be well worth your time. So the couch is going to hold you hostage if you like college football. But some of the games, I've got all these included in my juice reducer parlay, but some of the games I really want to focus on, also because they have such small spreads. I think the largest spread in any of these 3 games I'm going to mention is just 3.5, and Ole Miss is down to almost a pick 'em by now, which I can't fathom that in any way, shape, or form. But Ole Miss, Georgia, Oregon, I like all those teams. I like all 3 of them money line. Love Ole Miss, love Georgia money line. Like Oregon money line as well, but I like them with the 3.5 points. These are bets that you can just sort of do offline, maybe outside the juice reducer parlay. And I intend to go a little heavy on Ole Miss and Georgia. Bets that I'm making on my own, not necessarily telling you to do, but I do love the Rebels. I do love the Dogs. And if there's something you like and you've built up a bankroll, sort of as we've done here in the past few weeks, go ahead and take a shot on these. Georgia at home against Bama. I mean, who's Bama really beat? Nobody, really, if you think about it. Ole Miss, I think they're battle tested, so I'll go ahead and take them at home definitely. So just bear that in mind. It's okay to go ahead and go heavy once in a while. Just don't be stupid. If you're in a survivor contest this week, I would say Broncos, Texans, Bills. I, of course, have already used the Bills, so that's not available to me, and I've used the Broncos as well. So we're going to go with Texans this weekend. But if you happen to have the Broncos left, I might use the Broncos now. I might save the Bills for later if you haven't already used them. And I would skip the Lions this week. And I know a lot of you are saying with the Lions, they're hot. They're at home against lowly Cleveland. I should take the Lions. Save the Lions. You may need them further on down the road. You may need them on Thanksgiving. You never know. Because I'm sure almost all Survivor contests now, it's a universal thing where Thanksgiving is its own week. And some of you may need the Lions. And, I wouldn't want to trust the Cowboys with my Thanksgiving dinner. Um, if you've got the Ravens left over for Thanksgiving, that might also be good. Burrow will not be back then. Ravens hosting the Bengals Thanksgiving night. That's a possibility. But I would just go ahead and skip the Lions. I think they're a fat and happy sassy spot. And, are they really going to be able to sort of regather themselves on something of a short week after playing the Ravens, sort of focus on doing what it takes to defeat the Browns, who are just a pesky team, as the Packers found out and Packers bettors found out last Sunday. The witching hour in NFL last Sunday was truly bonkers. You had all these missed field goals, especially, or not missed field goals, blocked field goals in games like the Packers. And that Packers game mattered a lot to a lot of people, me included. I read a statistic that that Packers result alone, going from the Packers on their way to winning the game to then losing the game in the way that they did, that cost 51,000 bettors a winning ticket. And it cost bettors like me a collective of $1.6 million. So that's how much money changed hands on a blocked field goal. This week, we're doing things a little bit differently. We're going to have two separate juice reducer parlay models. I didn't want to cram everything into one thing. I just didn't have a good feeling about a couple of these bets, like Old Dominion. I'm confident Old Dominion is going to win. I'm confident North Texas is going to win. But rather than sort of put everything and all of our eggs into one basket, I sort of varied things up just a little bit. So the first juice reducer parlay will be the Bills, North Texas, which makes me squirm a little. Vandy and Old Dominion at minus 185. It has an implied probability of hitting of 65%. We're pairing that with East Carolina, as we mentioned, TCU plus 7.5, Ohio minus 2.5, Bearcats plus 10.5. I feel good about this number. As soon as this line dropped last Sunday, the Bearcats were getting 8 points. It's now down to like 4, 3.5. And, that has picked up steam throughout the week. The public has gotten involved now. But again, like we've said before, that line dropped Sunday and all the love came in for the Bearcats. That was from professional bettors. It was from betting syndicates. It wasn't just from people with the C-paw on their hat. It wasn't the public. They were watching NFL last Sunday when these lines dropped. So the professionals who do this for a living saw the Bearcats, appreciated that +8, and bet it down. So all this money came in on the Bearcats. The books, they now have liability on the Bearcats. They lowered the number from 8 now down to 4, 4.5 in some spots. So, makes me feel good about the Bearcats and 10.5. Going to take UCF plus 14.5. Love Central Michigan at home. I think I've got a statistic on Central Michigan. Yeah. In this series with Eastern Michigan, the home team has won the game 9 out of the last 10 meetings. So big Central Michigan trend there. And another interesting statistic, listen to this. Central Michigan runs the ball 64% of the time, which is, quite a lot in college football these days. Eastern Michigan at stopping the run, they're 134th in the country. That's almost dead ding dong last. And they're giving up is Eastern Michigan over 7 yards a rush. So I think it bodes well for Central Michigan here in this spot. Again, as I said, we're going to take Ole Miss at home money line, and we're going to take Texas A&M. In this series with Auburn, Texas A, or the home team, I should say, has won the last 4 games. So I like A&M anyway, but now we throw that trend in there, and I think it's really bodes well for A&M. Getting back to that Eastern Carolina game tonight, I did forget to mention this. Since 2023, Eastern Carolina is 8-6 against the number after a loss, and they are 6-3 against the number as a home favorite. So again, a couple trends there going in favor of the Pirates of East Carolina. Juice Reducer money line parlay number two. We're going to have Bills, Vandy, Old Dominion, James Madison, minus 238, has an implied probability of hitting of 70%. We're going to throw those in with Georgia money line, San Diego State money line, Indiana minus 2.5. If you want to go ahead and lay the 6.5, lay the 7 against Iowa, I'd say go ahead and do it. Indiana getting all this hate, getting no respect after what they did to Illinois last week. People coming out and saying, well, Illinois is a bad team. And that's a terrible read on the situation. Illinois is not a bad team. Illinois had a really crappy day. Illinois was the worst team of the two on that football field last week when Indiana clobbered them. But, to say that Illinois is terrible and that, Indiana's win over them is somehow cheap, and no, I don't think so. We're going to go with the under in Middle Tennessee and Kennesaw. Last year, this game went under. So, I think it's going to go under again. Like the under as well in Arizona, Iowa State. Iowa State at home is 10-5 to the under in the past couple of years. So we'll go ahead and take that trend in mind. UK and South Carolina, Kentucky, the Big Blue, or the Big Blue, the Wildcats, the Big Blue, that's Hamilton, Ohio, next door. UK is blue, though. Those are their colors. But we will take Kentucky and South Carolina to stay under 52.5 because the last 4 games in this series have also gone under. Like BYU money line, I think they are the much better team over Colorado. Colorado is kind of in a rebuilding mode. All of our NFL parlays are going to be on the second juice reducer I mentioned. We're going to take the Chargers minus 2.5. Going to take the Buccaneers plus 8.5, the Colts plus 8.5. I'm going to do the Panthers plus 10.5, Packers in a rebound spot minus 2.5, Jags plus 7.5, and Broncos first half in game on Monday night against the Bengals. Hopefully the Bengals play a little bit better than what they did last week. They couldn't play any worse, but I really don't have any confidence in this Bengals team going forward until they prove me otherwise. That's it. Those are all the bets. Hope you have time to go ahead and get to the window with everything. You should be able to do so. We hope everybody enjoys all the football this weekend, enjoys the golf. Watch a little of that Ryder Cup, watch a little MLB. But I think that football card Saturday is going to overshadow just about everything. There are a lot of compelling matchups, should be some really good games. So we hope everybody has a great weekend. And if you tail us to the window, we will cash tickets together. Good night, everybody.